Hello, my name is Carlos Barrios. I am a Florida International University computer science and economics major. I think I'm in my junior year at Florida International University. I began studying in FIU around 2022. My parents are Cuban. I was born and raised in Miami. My parents came during Peter Pan's Kids back in the 90s. But that's not today's topic. Today, we'll be talking about is media piracy and the problems that it causes within not only the economy, various businesses, our country, but also other countries and their prospective economies and businesses. Now, what exactly is media piracy? Well, media piracy is very hard to pinpoint exactly because hackers and online pirates are always coming up with new things, new devices, new softwares to capture copyrighted materials that are um, illegal to own without the rights of the actual creator or rights holder. So, to put it simply, media piracy is the illegal distribution of any type of copyrighted material, whether that be movies, music, somebody else's video that you don't have the rights to, somebody else's book. That's a lot of things that get copyrighted. Books mainly get copyrighted all the time. And when exactly did media piracy start? Well, media piracy started around the same time that many personal computers or PCs were created. So that would be back in the 80s and the 90s. Some people could even go as far as saying that the 60s because of VHS tapes and bootleg. Bootleg is like secondhand or like knockoff camera recordings. So basically, bootleg camera recordings of other people's intellectual properties that have been copyrighted and are not given public access to. So these pirates would technically take it as their own and distribute it illegally. And that is obviously bad because you're not paying any credit towards the creator or anything towards the rights holder. So is this a good or bad thing? Ethically and in a legal sense as well, this is obviously a bad thing. This is not only harming the economy, but it's also harming people, much like content creators on YouTube, for example. Let's say somebody uploads a clip of them making a basketball shot on YouTube and they put some very cool music behind the vid and all that kind of stuff. And then you come along and you take that video and you edit it up a little bit, but you don't really have the creator's like permission to do any of that kind of stuff. So you're kind of just illegally taking his video, editing it, and then when you repost it and you get much more followers and much more likes, you're not paying any credits back to the original creator, then you're kind of doing a bad thing that's not ethical at all. So now we'll be talking about media piracy and the US economy. So we all know that the US has a stable, strong economy, and we're all grateful for that. But it might not stay like that forever, thanks to these illegal distributors of copyrighted materials. The US economy has been affected ever since the start of media piracy, not only online but also in person. For example, like in New York, you could go and you could like buy DVDs on the streets of like popular movies for a fraction of what they would cost on online social media or social streaming platforms such as Netflix and Hulu or HBO or Max. So, according to the article that I have referenced later on in the video, the estimated loss in revenue for the economy of the US is around $30 billion. This is the impact that these people have left on our economy. That's not even counting what happens to major businesses such as Netflix when they receive losses of millions of dollars and then they are forced to lay off people from their jobs. For example, if you were working for Netflix and this happened to them, they would certainly start firing people from their jobs because they're not able to receive money to pay off the right sharers for the content that they are distributing on their platform. Moving on, media piracy and the digital economy. What is the digital economy? Well, simply put, it is much like the US economy, except on a much greater scale, where instead of holding currency as value, they hold data as value. And much of this data may be private or it may be public. So, many big businesses and many big people and many normal people like you and me interact every single day with the digital economy, whether we post on social media or we look at Netflix or we watch the latest video on YouTube or we listen to music that's being streamed on Spotify. Everything has a certain interaction with the digital economy when we're talking about playing media and looking at content online. So, how are people who interact with the digital economy at risk of media piracy? Let's say you have a bank account with American Express, and there are these media pirates that decide that it would be funny to hack into the bank. That is one way that you could be at risk of media piracy. Another way is that they get your account information through your Gmail, which is on your YouTube account, because everything is interconnected in the digital economy and in the digital world. Now, can big businesses or normal businesses fall victim to media piracy? Absolutely. Think about what's happening to Netflix. Think about what's happening to Hulu. Think about what's happening to Spotify when Pirate Bay was a thing. Moving on. So, to conclude, will media piracy ever stop? The short answer is no. Obviously, as a society right now, we are not capable of handling such a high level of crazy amounts of widespread chaos all over the internet right now, where anybody could pick up a device such as a laptop and they could start learning how to burn DVDs with old movies and start selling them, and or Pirate Bay, which still exists to this day, and you could copy music off of the internet, or even on YouTube. Some DJs I know actually copy music from YouTube to MP4 files, export them onto their DJs, and then they play music like that. And what are some ways that we could stop it? Honestly, it would be to hunker down on the restrictions and to start doing something actually big about these issues and start like getting people where it hurts, such as jail and fines. Here are all my references that I mentioned earlier. Thank you very much for watching the video. and have a nice day.